He's a Dutchy original. Queen pays warm tribute to Charles as Kate and Meghan and very sparkling jewels join royals from around the world at Buckingham Palace for 70th party. The Queen tonight paid a warm tribute to her son as she toasted Prince Charles's 70th birthday. Speaking at a private family party at Buckingham Palace, the monarch spoke of what a privilege it was for her, as a mother, to honor him on such a momentous occasion. It is understood that Charles was deeply touched by his mother's words which, in a family not known for its public pronouncements of love and affection, was almost unprecedented. She described Charles as a dedicated and respected heir to the throne to stand comparison with any in history, and a wonderful father. Significantly, she also gave his wife, the Duchess of Cornwall, the highest seal of approval, referring to Camilla by name as the woman who sustains him. And in a humorous aside she referred to her eldest son as a Dutchy original, a reference to the organic food line he set up in 1990. Raising a glass at the black tie dinner, the Queen said, "It is a privilege for any mother to be able to propose a toast to her son on his 70th birthday. It means that you have lived long enough to see your child grow up. It is rather like, to use an analogy I am certain will find favor, planting a tree and being able to watch it grow. My mother saw me turn 70, of course, and she was heard to observe that 70 is exactly the age when the number of candles on your cake finally exceeds the amount of breath you have to blow them out." Over his 70 years, Philip and I have seen Charles become a champion of conservation and the arts, a great charitable leader, a dedicated and respected heir to the throne to stand comparison with any in history, and a wonderful father. Most of all, sustained by his wife Camilla, he is his own man, passionate and creative. So this toast is to wish a happy birthday to my son, and every respected Dutchy original. To you, Charles. To the Prince of Wales. Royals were pictured leaving Kensington Palace this evening as they drove through central London to head to Buckingham Palace for the 70th birthday celebration of Prince Charles. His daughters-in-law, Kate and Meghan, travelled alongside their husbands, Princes Harry and William, as they sported huge jewels for the party. The Duke of Sussex was spotted driving his pregnant wife to the birthday celebration after Prince Charles celebrated his big day today by meeting 70 inspirational people also marking their 70th this year. The Prince of Wales was praised as a prophet by the Archbishop of Canterbury as he paid tribute to him on his birthday. The most relevant Justin Welby said the heir to the throne had shown his prophetic instincts in his championing of the environment and his early warnings of the threat posed by plastic pollution. The leader of the Anglican Church was speaking as peers in the House of Lords hailed the Prince of Wales' outstanding service to the nation and wished him many happy returns on turning 70. Referring to accusations leveled at the Prince of meddling in public affairs, the Archbishop said, "In the Church we politely say being prophetic. To some extent, His Royal Highness is a prophet. A prophet in the Old Testament is someone who sees slightly further into things than other people and, perhaps to some people's discomfort at times, may bring them out and is then proved to be right. He has shown his prophetic instincts, not least in his welcome advocacy of the critical need to protect the environment and his instincts around plastics pollution. Those efforts have been well ahead of most of us in this chamber." The tributes in the upper chamber had been due to be led by Lords leader Baroness Evans of Bowes Park, but as a member of the cabinet she was involved in the lengthy talks in Downing Street on the draft Brexit deal. In her absence, Deputy Leader Earl Howe moved what is known as the humble address to mark the royal birthday. The Tory frontbencher said the prince had set an extraordinary example of hard work and stamina in the cause of public service. Lord Howe said, "At times, he has been accused of meddling, but he has raised important issues, such as the impact of climate change and the effect of waste and plastics on the environment, well before they became political priorities." Labour leader in the Lords Baroness Smith of Basildon pointed out it was on environmental issues that Charles had at times ruffled a few feathers. There is no doubt, however, that what in the 1970s were regarded as somewhat eccentric issues are today's problems that we are all trying to grapple with, having failed to heed past warnings, she said, adding, "Perhaps we should re-examine a few more of those so-called eccentric issues." After an event with other people turning 70 at Spencer House in London, Prince Charles was pictured arriving at Buckingham Palace as he sat alongside Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. Earlier today the Prince of Wales walked into Spencer House in London with his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, carrying a glittering bag and 70th birthday balloon. Guests were nominated by Age UK and include volunteers who are actively involved with a number of their patronages, including the Prince's Trust, the Silver Line, Maggie's and Bernardo's. Charles was handed the balloon and a £5.99 bottle of Hot Nuts Grey Squirrel repellent in a bag by the Daily Mail's Rebecca English, along with her fellow royal correspondents Hannah Furness and Valentine Lowe. The Prince of Wales laughed and joked, "Where do you find these terrible things?" It comes after the heir to the throne said in an interview with County Life that he loves red squirrels that live on the Balmoral estate and even lets them into his home. Asked how he felt, the future king said, "Older. I'm not sure. It's rather like indigestion. Many happy returns are not quite the same as you get older." Asked whether she had finally found him a present, after telling the Mail last week that she was stuck for ideas, his wife, the Duchess of Cornwall, said teasingly, "I did. But I'm not telling." The prince chuckled when asked if he were slowing down, adding, "You may see it, slowly but surely," to which Camilla retorted lovingly, "I doubt it." The Prince of Wales said, "Thank you all very much," and asked the Mail's reporter if she had recovered from jet lag after the royal tour of Africa, saying, "I don't know how you do it." Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall travelled to nearby Spencer House, the former home of Diana, Princess of Wales' family, to meet 70 special septuagenarians who are volunteers actively involved with a number of royal couples' charities, including the Prince's Trust, the Silver Line, Maggie's and Bernardo's, at a party organized by the Sun. The Spencer family last lived in the 18th-century London mansion in the 1920s, and today it is leased to the investment company Rit Capital Partners, chaired by Lord Rothschild, which has renovated the property. As soon as the couple walked into the building, the group of 70 people began singing happy birthday to the prince before they all posed for a photograph. In the Great Room, the largest and most imposing of Spencer House's staterooms, the guests gathered for the reception, where tea had been substituted for champagne. With champagne flutes in her hand, the group listened as veteran royal photographer Arthur Edwards paid a heartfelt tribute to the prince. Charles gave an impromptu speech in return. At the end, the prince quipped, "I was asked just now outside whether I was going to slow down. I'm not sure I've got much alternative." Raymond Penrose was nominated to attend the birthday bash for playing Father Christmas in his village for 40 years. Raising thousands for charity and working with disabled children. Mr. Penrose of Chalfont Giles, Bucks, said, "I feel very privileged to be here today, especially because it is Prince Charles' actual birthday. It is a beautiful place to spend the day." Another reader nominated by The Sun, Gillian Ackers, volunteers as a home visitor for the RSPCA and undertakes weekly visits to schools to help reluctant readers, traveled from Corn for the event. Gillian, a retired magistrate, said, "I am so pleased that Charles has chosen to spend his birthday meeting other 70-year-olds. I am a bit surprised, but very honored to have been chosen by the Sun. Since I retired at 70, I try to keep busy. If I had one piece of advice for the prince on his birthday, it would be that he should not stop working." The King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery, the ceremonial saluting battery of Her Majesty's Household Division, fired a 41-gun royal salute from Green Park, central London, at noon. The soldiers, horses and guns of the battery had left their forward mounting base in Wellington Barracks at 11 a.m. before making their way up Birdcage Walk, past the Queen Victoria Memorial and up Constitution Hill. After a turn in Hyde Park, they then made their way to the firing position at Green Park after the band of the Royal Artillery will play a selection of celebratory music close to the firing position. Some 71 horses pulling 6 First World War-era 13-pounder field guns then came into action from the Wellington Arch end of the park to place the guns into position for the royal salute in the park. On the word of command, each of the 6 guns fired blank artillery rounds at 10-second intervals until 41 shots were fired. The horses and riders then collected the guns and took them back to Wellington Barracks. Just after midday, the Honourable Artillery Company, the City of London's Reserve Army Regiment, in ceremonial attire, left their barracks at Armoury House to drive through the city in their liveried Pince-Gare vehicles. They had an escort to the Tower of London to fire a 62-gun royal salute at 1 p.m., the second salute of the day. When the guns arrived at the Tower, They were placed into position, on the riverbank, overlooking HMS Belfast. The 3L-118 ceremonial light guns, similar to those used operationally in recent years in Afghanistan, were used to fire the 62-gun salute across the Thames at 10-second intervals. A royal salute normally comprises 21 guns, but this is increased to 41 if fired from a royal park or residence. At the Tower of London, which is a royal residence, a total of 62 rounds are fired on royal anniversaries. This also includes an additional 21 guns for the citizens of the City of London to show their loyalty to the monarch. Elsewhere, Army reservists from 104 Regiment Royal Artillery fired a 21-gun salute at Cardiff Castle today. Congratulations from around the world have been sent to the Prince of Wales as he celebrates his 70th birthday. The Welsh Guards at home and abroad recorded special video messages for their colonel from troops in Iraq, Afghanistan, Germany, Chile, and Canada, as well as in the UK. The royal family also wished the nation's longest-serving heir to throne a very happy 70th birthday via Twitter, accompanied by a montage of photos of the prince through the years. Charles was spending his birthday working, holding meetings before he and the Duchess of Cornwall had tea with a group of inspirational people who also celebrate their 70th birthday this year. In the evening, the Queen will throw a Buckingham Palace birthday bash for her eldest son and heir. European royals and Charles's closest friends and family are expected to gather at the glittering black tie party in the monarch's London residence. Charles was surrounded by his nearest and dearest in the official images marking his milestone birthday. In two photos released by Clarence House, the prince was pictured sat on a bench with his grandson Prince George, wife Camilla and granddaughter Princess Charlotte. Stood behind the prince and his wife were the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, with Kate holding Prince Louis, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The photographs are rare images of the prince with his 3 grandchildren, which will increase to 4 when Meghan gives birth next year. Charles is beginning his 8th decade from a position of confidence, with his charitable work in full swing, his sons forging their own public lives and Camilla by his side providing support. The photo shoot was staged in the garden of Clarence House in September, and appears to show a before and after of the moment the photographer said smile for the camera. In one image, the royals are looking straight ahead and smiling, while in the second Meghan is bending over as she laughs. Camilla has put her arm on 3-year-old Charlotte's shoulder and is pointing at something, while George has a fit of the giggles. Baby Louis, who is 6 months old, looks happy and content in the photos and has almost grown a full head of hair, while his big brother, 5-year-old George, dangles his long legs either side of his grandfather's knee. The pictures were taken by Getty photographer Chris Jackson.